Picture this. You're sitting in front of a blank canvas, staring at it with a mix of excitement and trepidation. You want to create something amazing, something that reflects your unique artistic voice. But there's a nagging voice in your head, whispering, it needs to be perfect, it needs to be original, groundbreaking even. What if I told you that the path to artistic greatness doesn't always have to start with perfection? In this video, I want to share 2 principles that have helped begin to set me free from the chains of perfectionism and create as I've never done before. Alright, welcome back to the channel. My name is Naya. If you didn't know, now you know. And you might be looking at me wondering, why is this video even relevant to me in the first place? Why are you making this? As a creative individual myself, I feel like I can kind of understand the perspective and the challenges that come with being a creative in all the many different ways, particularly with nurturing artistic growth. On top of that, we also live in the digital age, social media and things where you've heard it a million times. It's hard to really express yourself or put things out there without having like a complete and finished product and it's polished and it's perfect and it's pristine and all of the things. Well, I got the idea to make this video and just as kind of like an encouragement and reminder for myself, because I be watching my videos a lot, just to offer a fresh perspective to people that are also going through some of the same things, and just to encourage you to embrace your creativity in new and different ways, even if it's something small like taking inspiration from others or just observing. It can be so many different things. Also, I want to add a disclaimer to the beginning of this video. I don't know, I just feel like I have to do this, but I am not claiming to be a master or authority in any particular art form of anything. While I do have multiple interests, like I just feel like I feel like I'm a baby in all of this still. Like I feel like I just have so much to learn. It's so much that I want to learn and try and just explore in different various forms and all the things, all the things, right? So I'm not claiming to be a master of anything. These are just things that have helped me in my journey to, I guess you would say, speed along that process or just make the process more durable and easier, if that makes sense. So throughout this video, I aim to share 2 principles that I've been applying to my own life to just help you all embrace your own creativity with an open mind and an open heart. Enjoy. So now you might be thinking, okay, Naya, what's your methods? How do you do this? Well, let's dive into the sauce. So one thing that I found was holding me back as a creative was the constant pursuit of perfection. I feel like with every project that I started, it always had to be like this grand, really well thought out thing, or like I had to reinvent the wheel every time I went to make a new project. And it was just so frustrating because I would go into it with that mindset, and as soon as I got the first inkling or sighting that it wasn't gonna amount up to this big mountain that I created in my head, I just got discouraged. I wanted to give up. But then I came across a new perspective, which is called the 3% rule. Now, the 3% rule is originally coined by the late Virgil Abloh, and it is a philosophy that suggests focusing on pushing creative boundaries and making small incremental changes or improvements rather than striving for complete perfection. The central idea behind the rule is that it's better to just execute and release imperfect work, allowing for yourself to, learn and grow throughout the process rather than just getting stuck in that cycle of it needs to be perfect, it needs to be this, it needs to be that, and that eventually leads you to not doing anything at all. Now that I say that, it also reminds me of another quote that I heard where it's a lot easier to just do the thing that you want to do than to not do the thing that you want to do. Because if you don't do the thing that you want to do, you're going to be sitting there thinking about the thing that you want to do. And it's just like, why don't you just do it? Right? And you can clearly see this exemplified through Virgil's work, where it's not too many changes in his work, but it's still so different and creative and new. Like with the whole Converse thing, like he took a regular Converse shoe and he turned it into what it is today. We can easily identify it by the patterns, the logo mark, the tags on it. Like it's just taking that thing and making it slightly different, and it's a completely new thing. And this rule really helped me understand that perfection is never really going to be an achievable thing, nor is it really necessary in the creative process. And I noticed once I actually started taking and applying this rule to my own work and to my life in general, it opened so many doors, genuinely opened a lot of doors for me to learn and evolve and grow in different ways that I didn't even think that I could. One thing that I really learned too is that the 3% rule, or the 3% itself, it can look like so many different things. It doesn't have to be you changing something visually. It could be changing how you do the actual process of the thing, or how you present it to your audience, or the feeling that it conveys. It can be so many different things, and it just always involves pushing the boundaries in your work just a little bit more. And for me, I think it's always worth it in the end. So yeah, give it a shot. You never know. Now, some of you may view this method to be a little bit controversial, but just trust me. It's taking my art, my creativity to a whole new level. And that is stealing. Now, I'm not talking about the traditional Christopher Columbus type, stealing. Let me explain. My method of stealing involves me observing, studying, analyzing the work of people that I look up to in the dedicated fields that I'm interested in. I'm really into photography. I like Tufton a lot, graphic design, all of those different things. And I look to people that are really involved in their craft and have been in it for years. And I just study the way that they do things, how they, their processes and how they do things. And I take those and I apply it to my own work. And it has done wonders for me, absolute wonders. Pause that, time out. Real quick, I just want to jump in here and say, I'm editing this back and I'm realizing that I probably didn't make myself as clear as I could have. So I just want to clear the air. I am in no shape, form, or fashion condoning or promoting or tolerating people to go out and just create something and claim it as their own. I do not stand for that at all. That's not what I'm pushing for at all. That's lame. That's whack. That's corny. Boo. Tomato. Boo. Anyway, let's get back into the video. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of Austin Kleon, Steal Like an Artist, which is where I originally got this principle from. And I feel like it beautifully captures the significance of why it's important to embrace influence. Influence is already everywhere around us. Everywhere you look is influence. I was influenced to make this poster behind me because Futura is my favorite font. And it just looks cool. Influence in this plant right here, influence on this rug right over here behind me. The way that I decorated and designed my bedroom, I was influenced in some way or capacity. In my work, I was influenced to some way or capacity. And I really love this method in particular because you don't really have to go out and do anything or try anything or buy anything special. You literally just use what God has naturally given you, your two eyes. And you use your eyes to observe and just appreciate the world and the things that are already around you. When we're open to the techniques and the ideas of others, it can really help us to internally develop our own artistic voice so that we can also project that out onto the world and create something truly, truly unique. This is also another one of my favorite methods in particular, just because it kind of goes hand in hand with the first one that I talked about, but it also actively encourages us to engage our creativity by, appreciating and even recreating some of the things that we already love. So we can do this by, visiting galleries, capturing moments, whether we have a camera or everybody has a cell phone these days. We all have these. My favorite thing to do is just break things down and rebuild them up again, to, get the process down. And it just helps us expand our artistic horizons, our boundaries, our borders, our perspective, and discover new possibilities. And to me, that's always an amazing thing, a beautiful thing, really, a beautiful, beautiful thing. I actually literally have a whole folder dedicated to this exact idea on my computer, where I literally I go on Pinterest, or if I'm out and about and I take a photo of something, I'll literally recreate that exact thing. It always leads me to learning something about the process, whether it be I like this particular style of thing, I want to learn how to do more of them, or the process of doing something within that. It's just so much learning opportunity around us every single day, literally every single day. That's just my absolute favorite thing to do in general. I'll study something from top to bottom, inside and out, back and forth, right to left, and see like how does this work, or like why doesn't it work, or how could it work better, or how could this making this thing become easier, a lot smoother, whatever the case may be. Like I've always just been that type of person. 10 times, I was gonna say 9 times out of 10, but 10 times out of 10 I always walk away from it learning something new, whether it be about that specific process or even about myself. I was having way more fun with the process. I felt like a kid again. Like, when you're a kid and you're just into something, like time doesn't exist, nothing exists. You're just in that moment doing that thing and you're just having fun. You have all these grand ideas. Your imagination is so wild and vivid, and that was just my favorite thing as a kid, and I feel like I'm getting that back by doing these methods. With that being said, I encourage you all to just embrace your own authority to create. We are literally creative beings. That's all we were made to do, was to create and make things. It's your God-given birthright to do so. Give yourself permission to explore, to create, to fail, to make mistakes, to grow. You're always going to grow from that. Always. To conclude, remember, it's not about achieving perfection, because as I said before, that is not sustainable. Nor is it achievable, because the mark will move and flow every single time. It's just about embracing your artistic voice and just letting that be heard and letting it be known. It wants to be. So, yeah. I think that's it. If you made it to the end of this video, big shout out to you. I appreciate you guys as always for tuning into the videos and just, hearing my perspective and thoughts on the many different things of all things art. I love art so much. But if you did get any value out of this video at all, I would just appreciate if you guys would, do all the things, you leave a comment if you have something you want to say, share the video, like the video, subscribe, all the good things, because I will have more content like this on the way. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.